Hey guys, welcome back to What Next? And this week we're going to go ahead and go over The Running Man. Now, I missed this one in theaters. I did want to go ahead and see it, but the way my schedule worked out, I didn't get a chance to get to the theaters to actually see this one. So I saw that it just popped up on Paramount Plus for streaming. So I thought, why not give it a shot and watch it? So I'm not going to sit here and talk about the differences between this one and the original. Although I do think the hunters in the original ones were a lot better. They had a lot more character and flair to them. But that aside, we're not here to review the film like that as such. So again, if you guys haven't seen it, go ahead and do yourself a favor. Paramount Plus, or I think Paramount Plus on Prime. You can watch it essentially for free if you have a subscription. Or you can definitely rent it or buy it at this point now. But let's jump into it. So for those of us who have seen it, overall, like I said, good story. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was gonna. So I'm sitting there watching it. Did watch it twice just to make sure. I had all my notes correct. Side note though, that I think the most hilarious part was the new dollars, which is their money, that had Arnold Schwarzenegger on it. I thought that was a hilarious cameo and nod to him because he is technically the original Running Man. But it's not. They're not saying his character was around. I think he's the president. If technically that's what he is, or he was if he's on the money. But yeah. So anyways, so diving into this. So I'm watching this and I'm thinking, okay, what happens next for some of these characters? So you have obviously Ben Richards, Glenn Powell up here. So with him, I was kind of like at a loss for words, kind of like I was even watching the original one. He's kind of He's gone through this huge transformation. He beat the system. He kind of became a symbol for all the, kind of like the lower class people who are fighting against the upper class people and the networks that run everything and run the news. So I was kind of wondering, okay, so where does his character kind of go next out of this? Because he wasn't looking to be the leader of like a rebellion or anything, but now he kind of is. So they took down, the NGC network. So now it's, what does he do next after that? He did that. He got his revenge on Killian, killed him at the end, got his revenge on all the hunters. So it was, what does he do after this? We do kind of see the last glimpse. His family's in hiding, I think because they put him in hiding when he started the Running Man. Looks like they got all his money, so they were doing fine. He does show up at the end, obviously let them know he's okay. So, but moving past that, it's like, what does he do now? He's the leader of this big rebellion group that wants to just bring to light all the bad stuff that, I think they call them the executives is what they are. The executive level people that run the networks, they want to bring to light that these people are bad. And I think he just found himself in charge of that. So I'm just kind of curious, where does him and his team kind of go from there? Like, do they travel to other cities, or is there more work to do in his city, given the fact that, there's all these executives, I'm sure, in different levels that are going to step in and kind of take over for NGC now that network's down. They kind of say at the end, like, turn off the TV and, turn on your life, essentially. So I think it'd be interesting to see what happens with him and his character as he grows into this this character and this symbol, because everywhere you see Ben Richards live. So he kind of became their mascot, essentially, for the revolution. So I think it would just be interesting to see, should there ever be a sequel to this, how they have his character kind of progress as a what next with him and his band of the rebellions. Other than that, not a whole lot to follow after that. There's a couple of side characters. Mostly everybody in the poster here gets killed. You see, so Bobby T here at the end, you see him. He quits the network. What happens with him next? Who knows? He could go off and, because you do kind of see there are these other shows where people are earning money to do like kind of foolish things. So maybe he goes off and does another show, or maybe the network brings him back for something like that. Or maybe he decides to just kind of go off and live in hiding, because I think he sees that the network is, or at least the NGC network has fallen. They're crumbling. He sees that everyone's got, Ben as their symbol. The rebellion's coming for them. So he just is like, I'm out of here. So, where he goes, who knows? He probably could just go off. He probably has a huge house somewhere. He probably just goes off and lives his days and doesn't worry about any of this. Probably puts all this behind him, and just kind of moves forward. Now we have also two, like I said, we had you had Michael Cera, who played Elton, helps him out. Unfortunately, he gets shot in the head. We do have Amelia. Amelia is the girl that he essentially carjacks and helps out. I think at the end, I think during the credits, I'm pretty sure that was her. You see her kind of wearing like a backwards hat and a hoodie and everything, and I'm pretty sure she joins the rebellion. Now she was kind of one of the, she was a real estate agent. She was kind of like an almost executive level. Saw all these people as like the bad people, and that the good people are the ones that are trying to make the world a better place. But she kind of got her vision flipped now when she saw what happened with Ben. So I think she goes off and joins the rebellion. What place she takes in there, I don't know. Maybe does she kind of hang out with Ben and is kind of close to him on maybe with his level of people? Like I'm sure he has like a closer group of people he keeps with him. So what happens with Amelia? I think she goes off with the rebellion. I think it changed her whole perspective on things. Be kind of interesting to see. Maybe she becomes, who knows, like a lieutenant or something in the rebellion. Now that her eyes are open to all that. And then going past that to the character, you had Bradley Throckmorton, who's the one that kind of helps Ben. Him and his brother help Ben get out of there. I'm pretty sure he's the guy that does the underground videos. I think they just call him a live streamer. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if you were to get like a sequel, you would just see him always. I think he would just be the one just always just putting out information. Like I think as Ben and his group go off and handle the networks and handle the executives that are poisoning the middle to lower class or poor people, I think you see the live streamer come through and he's just constantly posting content of what's the truth. You remember those truth ads back a few years back. So I think he's just doing that. I think it's just what he does. He sticks with getting the video content, pushing it out there. That way everybody else in all the other areas can see that Ben and his group are off fighting for the truth, and they're there to post the truth now. So I think that's kind of where you see the core group of this cast move forward, should there ever be a sequel. Again, not every movie needs a sequel, but doesn't mean we're not left with questions of what next, right? So that's all I have for this one. Again, if you guys haven't seen it, do it. Go ahead and do it. It's good for a watch, maybe two. Like I said, I watched it twice just to make sure I wasn't missing anything that went, because I did have questions after, so I want to make sure I wasn't giving answers to those questions before I went ahead and made this video. But like I said, it's a good it's a good time. It's a date night movie. It's got a lot of action in it, so you won't be disappointed. But thanks for watching. See you guys next week.